What's up everybody? Harry here from Watermelon Music, and today I'm going to teach you how to tune a violin. The violin we'll be tuning today is an Eastman VL100, which is a classic student level violin. Awesome. Well, let's check to see if this one needs tuning. Oh yeah. So this violin is extremely out of tune. None of the strings are in tune, and this one's super floppy. So it looks very scary, and it looks like the string is broken when it's like this, but usually with this change in weather or any other kind of like change in humidity or anything, the actual peg can slip and force the string just totally loose. So it looks scary, but totally fixable, and today I'm going to teach you how to fix it. So there are two parts of the violin that actually help you tune it. The first are the pegs, also known as the coarse tuners, but today I'll be calling them pegs. And therefore, if the violin is extremely out of tune. The next are the fine tuners, which are attached to the tailpiece. And these let you really dial it in and get it exact once you've got them close with the pegs up top. Awesome. So without further ado, let's get into this thing. The very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to the fine tuners, and I'm going to loosen them up. Because if they're already all the way down, once you've tuned it up top, you're not going to be able to do any kind of dialing in because they'll have gone as far as they could go already. And so all of these, I'm going to get it close to totally up, but not quite. Something kind of like that. And it doesn't have to be exact. Next, this one really floppy string, and you can tell it's so floppy it's turning it. I'm gonna just kind of get it close, and I'm not pushing it in very hard at all. I'm just kind of placing it, and now it's got enough that it's not gonna get in my way because of how floppy it is. So violin strings are extremely fragile, so caution is key when doing this. But if you break a string, it's not the end of the world. We sell them both individually and as full 4-string sets. Going gentle and going slow is totally the way to do it. So, the next part of the equation is an electric tuner. There are tons of different kinds, but this is one of my favorites. We sell this in the store. This is by a group called D'Addario, who are very famous and do one of everything. And I really like this one. It comes in a variety of colors and isn't very expensive. So, one button turns it on. Fancy lights. Now we're going to clip it onto the scroll up top. And you can pluck it, and it tells you that I'm extremely out of tune. I'm at D sharp, and I want to be at a G. So one of the important things about tuning a violin is you do need to know what note each string is supposed to be. And it goes from G to D to A to E. The way I remember it is good dogs always eat. Okay, so here we go. So the first thing you're going to want to do is back off. You're going to be kind of pulling out and coming down like that. Now that gives us enough room that we can slowly push in as we're pushing up. And keep an eye over here on the tuning mechanism. Oh, look at that. Exactly in. But what you'll notice is once you go to tune the next one, it's gonna knock the other one out of tune because the tension in the box has changed. So next, we're gonna go to the next one, repeat the process, kind of pull it out and push down, and slowly go up. The next one is supposed to be a D. But you can see it's already knocked the G out a little bit. So what I'll do now is I'll kind of hold these just a little bit with the palm of my hand. And I'm going to go over to what's supposed to be A. Whoa, that's a bad sound. So let's go to this. So we're close. So that's close enough for me because I can do the rest of the work with the fine tuners on the tailpiece. Let's go to the final one. The E is the easiest one to break, so don't worry if you're not super close to getting it. Hey, oh, but today I was pretty close to getting it. Okay, the next step, we're gonna use the fine tuners. And so you want to keep an eye on this while you're using the fine tuners. So we're going to go to the G, and it's righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Perfect. Yep, absolutely. The fine tuners work really well on these instruments. Perfect. 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 Amazing. So now it's perfectly in tune. One thing to keep in mind is sometimes you won't have tuned this well enough up here, and you'll go all the way down with the fine tuner and won't be able to get it in tune. It'll just be flat. So what you want to do in that situation is go back and detune it a little bit, and then start working on the fine tuner, and then loosen the fine tuner and go back and get that close so that you can use this again. Beautiful. Let's see if it sounds any better than it did before. Beautiful. Sometimes you'll notice that not all violins have fine tuners, and there's a reason for that. They'll still usually have a fine tuner on the E, but they won't have them here. And the violin that I just tuned has some inexpensive strings that have a very brittle core, so they don't move. They move a lot with just a little bit of effort. Once you get to nicer strings like these are Ava Prazzi's, which are very close to the top of the line. Once you get to that level, they're a synthetic core that is very malleable, so fine tuners aren't going to actually do very much, and you'll be able to dial it in really close just using the coarse tuners. They'll still have it on the E though, because the E is usually just a plain steel string or something kind of similar to that, so the fine tuner still will do a lot for it. Thanks for watching, everybody. If there's anything else you want to learn, just message us and we'll teach you. Have a good one.